Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace, a bracelet, and a pair of earrings today using some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent Bark and Bead box, the January 2024 box called A Galaxy of Gems. I don't know how this turned into an entire set. I was just going to make a necklace, and then I thought, well, I think I'll make a bracelet to match it, and then, well, why not add a pair of earrings? So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go into everything that came in the box and all that. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I really do believe this to be a great value box. I'm going to have a whole set of jewelry when I'm done here, and I've still got a ton of beads left. So this is a really great value. This is going to be a really colorful necklace. I don't usually mix colors a whole lot, but I knew when I saw all these beads and how pretty they all are that I just wanted to use them all together and make a really colorful necklace. In here I've got the 8mm beads that came in the box. I've got the crackle glass beads in amber, the lapis and chrysocolla beads, the carnelian beads, the tiger skin jasper beads, the aqua quartz beads, and the sodalite beads. So I'm going to use all of the 8mm. I've got some of the bead frames. I'm going to be using 5 of the bead frames. There were 6 in the box. I'm going to be using 5 of them in the necklace and 1 of them in my bracelet. And I'll show you what I'm going to do for the bracelet and the earrings when I get to them. In here I've got the one of the let's see, that would be the sodalite beads, I think, that I've got in there, and one of the bead frames, and an eye pin, and the 30 by 27mm 18 karat gold plated stainless steel galaxy pendant that's going to be my focal. I've got some pieces of 22 gauge German style wire in gold. These are about 3.5 inches each, I think is what I cut them at. In here I've got some findings for my stash. I've got a lobster clasp, an 8mm jump ring, a 6mm jump ring, a couple of pieces of paperclip chain, and a shorter piece of paperclip chain as an extender. I would have used the chain that came in the box, but I wanted to match my extender chain with the chain I'm going to put on the back of the necklace. I don't always do that. A lot of times the extender chain I use doesn't match the chain that I put on the back of the necklace at all, but I just wanted it to this time. This is one of the moon charms that was on the magnetic clasps. There were 2 magnetic clasps, and on one end was a moon charm and on the other end was a star. And I'm going to use the star in my bracelet. I'm going to use the moon in my necklace to hang off the extender chain. I took them off the magnetic clasp because I think they probably would have been a little bit troublesome if I left them on the magnetic clasp, because they kept wanting to stick to the magnet. So I'm just going to use them as dangles off my necklace and one of them off my bracelet. I'm using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, the crimping pliers I use to tuck in wire when I tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire, and the cutters that I use to cut craft wire and head pins and eye pins. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I'm done, and I really have got to empty him. He's full. So I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I've already got 1/2 of my necklace made, and I'm going to make the other half. And it's just some wire wrapped links with my wire here, my German style wire. And I'm going to put them in the same color order that I've got these in. And I'm going to put one of these bead frames around this lapis and chrysocolla bead, and one around this aqua quartz bead here. So I'm just going to take one of my pieces of German style wire and go down almost 1.5 inches, not hardly. And well, I guess if this is a 3.5 inch piece of wire, that might be 1.5 inches. I guess it is. Now I'm going to bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me, and I'm not making as big a loop on these as I usually do. I usually go up a little bit farther on my round nose pliers, but I'm going to go a little bit closer to the tip because I just for some reason decide I want smaller loops on these than I usually make. So I'm going to bend my wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. That usually stands my little piece of wire almost straight up. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Take the shorter piece of wire and wrap it around the longer piece of wire. And I usually always do it about 3 times. Now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire here. And take my crackle glass bead, put it on here, and now I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers because I don't want a very long neck. Straighten this up down here. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down a little bit. I'll take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrap in under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. Just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers, and I use the little half circles at the end there on each side to tuck in my burrs that are left when I cut off the wire. And I wait until I have my bead on here before I try to tuck these in, because it helps if I have that bead to brace against. If I don't, I usually end up mangling the bead and everything. So, I mean, not the bead, but the wire and the loops and everything else. So that's why I do that. So now I'm going to take another piece of my wire and my next bead in line, which is this aqua quartz. I'll go down about 1.5 inches, bend over at a 90-degree angle, round those pliers in the crook of the bend, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. And this time I'm going to open my loop. I'm going to thread on this link that I just made already. I'm going to close my loop. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down and wrap it around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. And I take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. And my next bead in line, I already said that's my aqua quartz. I'm going to put it on here. Take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop, bring my wire down, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Cut the extra wire off. My crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. Now I'm going to do that again with my tiger sand jasper bead. Down about 1.5 inches. Bend the wire over. Around those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. This part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Bent chain those. Oh no, almost forgot. Gotta open my loop. Thread on my chain that I've got made already. To open my loop a little bit more than that. Close my loop back. Now I'll take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring the wire down. Wrap it around the longer piece of wire. Cut off the extra wire. Put my tiger skin jasper bead on here. My pliers. Go to the very tip of the pliers. Straighten this up down here. They tend to get a little wonky sometimes. Probably would help if I straightened my wire up before I did this. The tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. This part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Bend chain those pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring my wire down. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters. Cut off my extra wire. Crimping pliers and tuck in my burrs. And I'm going to do this next one with my bead frame, and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. So I'm going to take a piece of wire, pliers, go down about 1.5 inches. Bend over the tool at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back till it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. This part under hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Open my loop. Thread on this chain that I've already got made here. Close my loop back. Bend chain those pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this part down. Wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire. Cut off my extra wire. And now I'm going to take my bead and put it inside my bead frame and try to line my holes up the hole in my bead up with the hole in the bead frame. And some of these, like it said in the paper, some of these beads fit really well inside of these, and some of them are a little bit too big. You just have to find the ones that fit well. I'm going to put my wire in there, go through my bead. Now I got to make sure I get through the whole of my bead frame on the other side. There we go. Now, take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, round those pliers in the crook of the bend, bend the wire back until it hits the beads, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads, bend chain those pliers and hold on to my loop, bring this wire down, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start my wraps. I guess I cut these pieces of wire a little bit too long. I'm wasting wire. I probably could have just used 3-inch pieces instead of 3.5. Now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. Okay, so now I'm just going to keep doing this until I get a chain that's just like the chain I've already got made here. And then when I get done, I'll come back and we'll do the focal part and put it all together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got both sides of my necklace made now, my little beaded chains. Now I'm going to do my focal. So I've got my pendant here, and I've got a piece of my wire, and I'm going to go down and about 1.5 inches and bend over a 90-degree angle. Make a little bit bigger loop this time because I want to put it through that pendant. So I'm going to put my round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to open my loop. I'm going to thread on my pendant, close my loop back. I take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down, wrap it around the longer piece of wire. And take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my bead frame and put it around my lapis bead and put it in the hole of the bead frame, and then work my way around here until I can get through the hole of my bead. And now I need to get through the other hole of my bead frame. There we go. Okay, now take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers in the crook of the bend. I'll make about the same size loop as I did on that bottom. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop, bring the wire down a little bit, my other pair of bent chain nose pliers, and start to wrap. wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my burrs. So that's going to be my focal. And I didn't have a jump ring out to connect these with, but I decided I need to connect them with a jump ring. So I'm going to, this is an 8mm jump ring. I'm going to open it up. Put it on this side of my necklace. My focal. And this side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back. Make sure to get it closed up really well. So that's what I've got so far. So now I'm just going to take my findings here. These little pieces of chain are about, I think they're about 2.5 inches each. And then I have a piece that's a little bit shorter, that's about 1.5 inches, my extender chain is. So now I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring. Oops, almost lost it. Open it up, put my chain on. One side of my necklace. Close it up really well. And I just realized I didn't get enough jump rings out. Need a couple more. I'm going to take another jump ring. Open it up. Put my other chain on. The other side of my necklace. Close it up. Now I need a jump ring to put my lobster clasp on with. Oops. Actually, I think I probably just needed one extra jump ring than what I had out. I don't know. Put this into my chain on. Lobster clasp. Close my jump ring up really well. Now I'm going to take my 8mm jump ring. And put it on this side. My extender chain on. My other side of my necklace. Try to close my jump ring up really well. And now I'm going to take my little moon charm And this is the jump ring that was on it that it was attached to that magnet clasp with. I open it up and put it on my extender chain. So that's my necklace all done. So hold on, I'll get the stuff that I'm going to use to make my bracelet, and it's just going to be the same thing wire wrap links, but I'll show you what my pattern is going to be and all of that, and then I'll just do it off camera. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my stuff out for my bracelet here, and I'm just going to do this off camera because I'm going to do it exactly like I did the necklace. But I'm going to do 4 of my beads on one side. I'm going to do 9 beads total. I'm going to do 4 on one side. My tiger skin jasper bead in the middle with the last bead frame I have around it, and then 4 more beads on the other side. And then I'm just going to put a lobster clasp on it and a piece of extender chain, and I'm going to hang this star off the extender chain as a dangle. So when I get all that done, I'll be back and show it to you, and then we'll do the earrings. So I'll be back. Okay, so there's my bracelet to match my necklace, and now I'm going to make my earrings. And I've already got one of them made here, and these earrings are not going to match each other but I think they'll match okay with the bracelet and the necklace. I wanted to get all the colors that was in the bracelet and the necklace in the earrings, so the earrings are going to be a bit mismatched, but I think they'll go okay with the necklace and the bracelet. And I think mismatched earrings are kind of a popular thing these days. So I'm going to take a ball head pin and my lapis bead and take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend, trying to see how big a loop I made on these. About the same as I made on everything else, I think. So I'm going to bend over until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. And I just realized I've got my little heater on here. I had turned it off while I was not on camera, and I forgot to turned it on while I was not on camera, and I forgot to turn it back off. It is very cold here in Kentucky. I know it's very cold almost everywhere. Now I'm going to take, hold on with my bent chain nose pliers. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off the extra wire. My crimping pliers, tuck in my little burr, and now I'm going to take one of my eye pins and open up the eye and thread my little dangle that I just made on. Close the eye back. Sure to get it closed back really well. Now I'm going to put my tiger skin jasper bead on here, and I'm going to make a simple loop here. So I'm going to go a little bit above the bead, bend over at a 90-degree angle, take my cutters and cut off, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of the pin there. I think I am zoomed in way too much. Hold on, let me back out a little bit here. Now I'm going to take my round nose pliers, go to the very end there and start to roll back a loop. Sure to get my loop closed really well. I'm going to take another eye pin, open my eye pin, thread on what I've got made so far, close it back, take my lapis and chrysocolla bead. I'm going to do another simple loop here, a little bit above the bead, bend over to a 90-degree angle, cut off, leaving about a 1/4 of an inch of the pin. Around those pliers. Go to the very end here, make sure there's no pin sticking out here. Roll back my loop. Sure to get my loop closed up really well. Now I'm going to open this loop. I'm not real satisfied with that loop. I'm going to see if I can adjust it a little bit here. I'm not very good at simple loops. Okay, now I'm going to open this up and thread my little, I forgot to say, but I've got these sun links that came in the box. And now I'm just going to take my ear wire and open it up and thread my little link on here. Close my ear wire back. So there's my other earring. That does not exactly match this earring, but it's got all the beads. They've got all the beads in them that's in my necklace and my bracelet, so that's what I was going for. So hold on, let me see if I can get all this laid out together so y'all can see it all together, and I'll be back. Okay, there's my very colorful set of jewelry made with just some of the beads that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the January 2024 edition, called A Galaxy of Gems. I just think these beads are so beautiful. I mean, I always love their beads. I always think their beads and findings are beautiful, but this box just seemed particularly beautiful. And like I said, I still have a ton of beads left, so I can still make many, many more pieces of jewelry. This is just a really great value box. I can't recommend it enough. And if you're not a subscriber and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and bindings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.